you hosted Spring Auto Fest, right?
One of the hosts, yeah.
Away. Away. Um, how do you pronounce them? Envious.
Envious, yeah. Envious Cape Town chapter specifically, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, first, I want to know who they are, and then we go on further.
Well, so Envious is a car club basically. It's an American club, but they have like chapters all around the world. And then I ran into a couple of them a while back, and I joined the car club itself because we had, I think I had a mate or two that was already in the club.
Mm.
So then we just hit it off from there. And I've been in the club for I don't know how many years now, but I'm just a big part of the club itself and part of that team. So then when we decided, look, we want to host an event, that was something that Envious has always wanted to do. And we agreed that, look, we can play off each other's strengths. They can pull numbers, we can create content. And from there, it just kind of kept going. And we hosted our first show last year, I think it was.
Last year.
Yeah, last year was our first show.
Wait, how was the turnout? Was it expected for this year? What was it expected? Like, okay, we're gonna do this numbers, or how was the overall good? Was it not the expectations?
I think, I mean, you're always going to have expectations, but you also have to hold in the back of your mind that it's very unpredictable. You can say we want 200 people, but or a certain amount of cars, but at the end of the day, it can fluctuate depending on the environment, the weather, if people are even interested. So I think we went in with the mindset of let's not expect anything, but this is the numbers we would like to expect.
Yeah, because obviously, like last year you held the event, then obviously you can run the books like, okay, cool, this was maybe this amount of people. Okay, we expecting the same amount.
Or Ricardo might have a different perspective on it, I think.
Yeah, we would like to hear from you as well.
I think so. I can't remember what our numbers were last year. I'm going to spitball and say we did about 800 people total, give or take. I think this year we did anywhere between 1,500 to 1,800 people, give or take. But that obviously includes vendors and drivers. So it, like Ashley said, it's kind of hard to gauge, especially when it comes to like weather. Weather is such a factor. We've seen that weather is enough to stop a show.
Yeah.
I mean, Drift City took like what? I'm going to spitball 6 months to happen just because of what the weather did to it, and then us straight into winter. So it's kind of hard to gauge, but at least from our side, I'd say it was a successful event, and we got a turnout that we were all happy with. Yeah.
Okay, so how did last year's event differ from this year?
I'd say the biggest factor is something that we ran into last year is we decided, look, cool, let's put the club display of the show in the parking lot. And we're like, people are going to move around the field and stuff like that. But we kind of underestimated how people would actually interact with the venue and mingle. And I'd say it's kind of hard to give a percentage, but let's call it 75% of the people spent the time in the field. So a lot of the people, including the vendors that were in the parking lot, felt like, nobody's coming to our stores. Everyone's lumming on the field because that's where the club display, all the show cars are. So the biggest thing that we did different was we put everything on the field this year. And it only benefited us because everything was in one place. It just turned into a giant hub of movement and people were just everywhere.
Anything from your side?
I mean, other than that, I think we kind of had a different setup this year as well. I mean, last year we didn't get to use the whole field, so we couldn't do a layout that worked, in our favor.
That's a big factor, the limitation of not being able to use the actual pitch.
Yeah, that's why we had to use the parking lot. But I think this year we were a lot more inclusive. The team was on everything, whatever issues we faced, working together, helping everybody, including obviously the people entering the event, and just trying to be accommodating. Even though sometimes you do have some difficult people, we still try to maintain that environment of letting people know we are there and we are helping. I think it was definitely a lot more successful than last year, but last year was still successful.
Okay. Another thing I was thinking about also is there any pressure to outperform what you did? Like, say, previous year, like last year, is there pressure to like, okay, this year must be better, the next year, the next year, and the next year?
I would say, I mean, it depends on the situation. Obviously, last year we didn't have the whole field, so having the entire field this year kind of put us in a position where we were like, okay, we can improve the layout, and it might bring more interest as well. But I think one of the important factors is to try and do something different each time, which can become difficult in the long run. As you know, like if an event is repetitive, it's going to get boring if you're seeing the same thing, but that's all limited to what you have anyway. I don't know, Ricky, what's your opinion?
I think, so, like you said, pressure, right? In a way, I don't think there's pressure to outperform, but you definitely want to at least pull what you did last time or just give people a good enough show that they have a good time. I think as much as you want to have cool cars there, the main thing is make sure that everyone is there is having a good time. You want to make sure there's enough facilities for them to do whatever they need, enough food for everybody. It's nobody wants to go to a car show and then come 11 o'clock, there's no more food, and you just got a lamb and bake in the sun. You know what I mean? It's not a vibe. So I think I wouldn't say pressure.
It's like more like either from people or personal pressure. Let's put it like that.
I think more so concerns.
Yeah.
You know, anything can go wrong on the day, but from our experience, we haven't had anything too hectic that kind of put that kind of pressure on us. If there was, it would be technical issues. Or let's just give an example, something needs to be on the field, but it needs to be on the field, you know, when we get there in the morning, and it might not be there when we get there and comes like 3 hours later or so. There's those concerns that do happen, but pressure-wise, I mean, I think we did pretty well, and we didn't experience too much pressure, other than just making sure everything runs technically correct.
So that's the only pressure. Like, not like there's not like yeah, I want to have a better show. So it's just like on the day, like
Yeah, I mean, it's expected. You do want to have a better show, and the nerves can kick in, of course. I think everybody experiences that, but it's also exciting, and sometimes the excitement can come in the form of nerves, and it's good to have that. You know, you want to make sure you perform well. So I guess in a way there is pressure either way.
okay. So from my side also again, how does one organize such an event? I'm sure there's people out there wanting to know how. Because I was also thinking that, like, these Owens, okay, they got probably bank because how they sorting out this stuff. So can you please run through like the process of organizing such a event?
So I'll tell you one thing. There's a lot of paperwork because everything has to go through the city. So you have to submit permits and forms, and the city doesn't make it easy.
Let's be specific. Like, is there like health and safety, like
everything?
okay now.
Literally everything that you could think of that needs to be covered, even ensuring.
But what if the people can't think of anything and they need to know, like, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this.
You can probably contact your council or whatever the case may be if you want to find out what it takes to, you know, what's the input in order for you to host an event within a certain area, and people will give you that information.
But now for you guys,
the city helps with that as well. I say helps, but what they do is they give you a full list of everything that they need. And
okay, what was on that list?
Shove it, bro. I'm gonna say I signed like 20 different documents. You've got anything from medical to waste management to ablution blocks, which is obviously toilets for everybody, ensuring that there's enough of them, security and safety, noise exemption, because especially if you're hosting a residential area, you need signatures saying, look, yeah, exactly. We actually got complaints on the day of our show saying, hey, you guys are making way too much noise. We're like, here's some signatures, you can't do anything, sorry. What else? The venue itself, I'd say if anyone's curious about expenses, the brunt of the expense in most cases is the venue. That can be very expensive. It obviously depends on you, and you can always work a deal with somebody. We worked a deal with the venue that we had last year.
Yeah.
So that helped. That worked in our favor. But yeah, it varies. There's a lot that goes into it. Like I can go on forever if you want to know. But I think the best thing to know is a big team is important, and make sure that you have multiple people. I don't know how many people we were last year that was managing everything. Realistically, we were like a team of like 5, 6. This year we almost doubled in size as far as management goes, and then full staff we had about 35 to 40 people actually running around doing things on the day. I think I kind of dodged that question weirdly there.
Away. I was gonna come back to it now actually. So you listed those things. So that's the main things, or there is more.
So let's say this, right? Going into a show, you need a venue.
Away.
You obviously need a reason for people to be there. So in our instance, car shows or a car show. So you need to get cars. That you can obviously figure out how you want to get that information. We decided to use Google Sheets and then just set up a registration system. Everyone puts in all their details so we can contact them. And then we basically have a Google Drive that all the vehicles were in. We can just sift through, check all the car entries. Something we didn't run this year was a online purchasing system, like a ticket system.
Yeah, Quicket and
Quicket, we ran one last year, but we didn't find that it worked very well. Or there wasn't a lot of purchases.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
That I feel that Quicket thing is kinda it's good, but also the people of the event. There's normally a charge when you purchase a ticket, if I'm not mistaken, but then it's on the customer.
Is it?
Yeah, because you say now they say the ticket is 150, and then there's like maybe a extra fee also. I check.
Because to my knowledge, at least so I thought there's, let's say a ticket is like you said 150, then they will charge the people 150, but they take a percentage off us. I don't know what that percentage is. I can't remember, but they'll take a percentage from the grand sum that you basically make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because remember this question is an educational question because the people want to know, what if I wanna be like the Germanese guys and so I throw a party, aka event. So yeah, it's from you need from the government you need your papers.
Yeah.
You need to plan.
Your target audience.
And marketing must be probably heavy as well.
Yeah, that's always going to be the case. Especially if you want to reach numbers, you got to throw yourself out there, and sometimes you need to do it way before the time. I don't know.
That was what we focused on this year. So our portion of the brand or the team that was hosting the event, our goal was marketing. We just tried to we made all the social media posts for the event, all the videos for the event. Actually made a lot of the stuff for in 3D space, so like our promotional video.
Close to the
Little
mic.
bit closer.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
leaning, yeah.
Oh yeah, basically.
I don't know why I was just going down. Sorry. So we focused on marketing. I think marketing is probably one of the biggest parts. If you don't market your event, how will anybody know it exists?
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel we covered how you would organize an event like that?
For the most part. I think if somebody wants to host an event and you genuinely want to find out more, feel free to message us online. We can try and share some information. But we're going to be here a while if I tell you exactly how to run the show. It took us months.
That's the main stuff then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, our sponsorships as well. You want people to assist you when you're hosting events.